live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Big Girl and Friends. My name is, my hair's a little pasty right now. Let me just give it a little fluff. My name is Christopher Wilson, also known as Big Girl, and we're excited to welcome you to the show on Thursday, April 23rd. Not as sunny a day today in Toronto as it has been this week, but I'm not complaining. It's lovely to have all of you fabulous people joining us tonight. So hello. I don't got too much like going on chit chat at the beginning, but I will say, as every day, this is an ongoing fundraiser for the Actors Fund of Canada, an incredible organization supporting the artistic community from coast to coast. If you are able to make a donation during the show, please go to afchelps.ca to click on the Donate Now page, and we would welcome whether it's $5 or $1,000. Every bit helps this wonderful organization supporting the artistic community when we are not able to go to the theater or to a film set and do what we love. So now we're doing it online, which is super exciting. So I'm going to welcome to the stream right off the top my fabulous co-host, the Associate Director of Toronto Musical Concerts, the fabulous, the talented, the gorgeous, the effervescent. What are other adjectives that I want to use to describe this man? The ridiculously, randomly, Randy Ryan Kelly.
Randy Ryan.
That's your porn name. What?
Ridiculously. What did you say? Ridiculously, rambunctiously, Randy Ryan.
Something like that. Yes.
You love an alliteration, my friend.
I do love. Hello, Ryan.
My crispy tonight? Christopher. I'm okay. It ended up being a quieter day than I anticipated in some ways, and in other ways not. I did a couple of online tutorials for a couple of students this afternoon, trying to put together videos of them teaching dance online. And so gave a couple of tips to them about how to improve it or how to make it more effective.
You were watching your videos of your students from George Brown that were giving you videos of them teaching.
They were like, hey, have a look at this because I feel kind of stupid and lame on it, and I just want to know how to get over that. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, ego, and then let's go from there. And I just talked about certain steps about smiling at the camera and giving us sort of in essence a slate at the beginning and considering body language and all the stuff that I would normally teach in class. And he can pay for it next year because he'll be my student next year, and he'll get, an in-class version of it. But, I was happy to help if it's a way for him to make money then, or them, all of them, to find different ways to make money and what have you. So I'm still trying to figure out the different ways for me to make money. So, but I did have a little project. I don't know have I gone on at length? I don't remember what I say from one, because everything is just, I don't plan anymore. Like I used to be like, here's the prop. I don't know what's going to happen from night to night anymore. But have I gone on at length about the pigeon issue that I have?
You mentioned, I think you mentioned the pigeons yesterday, but you didn't really go at length. So I
don't think we really do need to go at length necessarily about it.
When we met, you went out on your balcony and you were having a bit of a pigeon issue. So
so when I moved here 3 years ago, my balcony was pigeon central.
I remember it was pretty nasty,
and so it got cleaned and then
turned into a beautiful. Outside utopia.
Yeah, exactly. I made it a cozy little place with Christmas lights and plants and some folding chairs, and it was nice. Yeah. And I'm so grateful to be in a place with a balcony.
Yeah,
I really am, to have that fresh air and not have to go outside into public, but still be able to get a little sun in the morning and et cetera, et cetera.
The sun in the morning and the moon
at night. And the moon is brilliant, actually, often because I get to see it pass at night by the window. So not that moon.
Randy Ryan.
Hey, I didn't get up out of my chair ready to whoop, whoop. That was you, sir.
Whoop,
anyway.
It is.
Oh, wow, raise the roof. Anyway, so it's been an ongoing thing with the pigeons. One season will nest on my neighbors, and there was like a nest literally with baby birds in it one time. And they got taken away by the Humane Society or Animal Control of sorts. They got relocated. But pigeons, they're like, they know where home is, right? Like, they may not necessarily be homing pigeons, these specific ones, but they are homers. Yeah, they're homists. Yep. And so this one This is the Randy guy. The Randy pigeon comes back every year and sits and calls like sexy sounds out to girl pigeons at the crack of dawn. And there's nothing more specific. I don't know. I'm sure there are more specific sounds. Hello.
That's Justin coming to us from Australia.
And it's the same moon
all the way
every night.
Actually, but it's not the same moon. Don't lose your pigeon thought. I remember when I lived. So Justin and I met in Australia. It is the same moon, but
come on, flat earther.
No, it's the same moon, but you see the opposite side of it. So there's no smile in the moon. We don't see the same moon.
Is it the opposite side or upside down?
I'm not sure, but it looks very different because it's different constellations, right? It's a whole nother thing. And I remember
because on the dark side of the moon, that's where all the alien
extraterrestrial people live.
No, well, that's where all the like hideouts in them because they're watching us, right? Like they're keeping around humanity being like
violent. But literally, I remember looking up at the sky consciously for the first time when I was living in Oz.
Did they not even have a man in the moon sort of like legend then?
I'm not going to represent Australia. It looked different.
Okay, I wonder.
Back to the pigeon.
Anyway, pigeons. I'm as fascinating as Bert on Sesame Street right now. Sexy sounds inviting female pidgeys over to my place. And so it drives me crazy. So I have a lineup of recyclables that I know are too big to fit under the edge of the that I throw at I make noise in the corner of the balcony to scare them away. Yes, crack it like old ginger ale bottles and stuff like that, like plastic ones. So then I was like, this isn't working. And then someone said, put a cup of bleach out there. They hate bleach. And I'm like, ooh, that's chemically and that might be dangerous. And so I went online and I found this I just strung up these lines of really, really thin rope or fishing line with other bits of rope tied on it. It doesn't look it's not trendy looking or anything, but I don't know. So earlier today, I literally saw this pigeon traverse it, and it came and sat on my ledge, and I was like, "Rah!" And I just flipped out and banged on the window. So I spent a lot of time out there finessing my little.
You're not clanging pots necessarily for the frontline workers. You are smashing the window at pigeons on your balcony. Wow.
Is it selfish of me?
No, but we could we could incorporate both, and then the world would think you're an incredibly generous, loving person, and yet you're
at 7:30 in the morning instead, right? It's like gang, glang, glang. No, guys, I'm just doing my part. No, not fair. Anyhow, I hope this pigeon. I want love for everyone, right? Everybody who finds love
poops on your balcony.
No, you know what? We all poop.
It's true.
It's true, right? Even pigeons. Yeah. And so I hope this pigeon finds a space that he and his loved one can proliferate and nest and do whatever pigeons do, as all animals, I'm sure, on this planet right now are thriving in interesting ways.
Yeah.
I heard, I mean, not that the dolphins were swimming in the canals, but there has certainly been an influx of wildlife sort of moving in on urban centers, which I find really interesting. And I wonder what they're all thinking about this, actually.
Apparently downtown Banff is just turned into like a
petting zoo, I'll bet. It's
all the elk, all the wildlife.
You walk out and it's like, oh!
They're just they're drinking pina coladas.
And you're everybody's getting them to clean their houses and everything. Oh, that's the dream.
We are out of control today.
No, I think we've been goofier actually, but anyway, it was quite a concentrated project out there. So you had said that you I don't mean to expose you, Christopher, but you had fallen off the exercise bandwagon today.
I did
in the pre-chat, and I was
no gun show tonight. It's less gunny. Yeah.
No, I'm actually a little bit sore because I did work out yesterday. And my friend Raymond has been suggested that every morning after he wakes up and he has his shake or his tea or whatever it is that he gets going, he's going to start his exercise. He puts on "We Built This City on Rock and Roll," and holds weights and dances to it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it is this city. It's the worst song, right? We built this city on rock and roll. Yeah, well, it's hard to do that, right? But it has a lyric in it that says, Marconi plays the mamba.
Listen to the radio.
Right, right. But a mamba is a snake. A mambo is a song. And when I was in grade school, plays the mamba. Well, see,
listen to the radio.
Right, get your weights out, everyone.
Oh, wow.
So I tried it, and I was like, God, the song is long. Like by the time they get to the corporation names, and then the bridge where there's like a guy talking, or we built this city, and it's like very 80s. And I got talking to Raymond about it, and I was like, Jefferson Airplane. Like the people who did like White Rabbit and like really, really cool music in the 60s and 70s, they became Starship and wrote We Built This City. And that kind of blows my mind a little bit in, I guess, the diversity of creation. I don't know. We all hope that we go up. Like I still keep hoping that I haven't peaked. But no, not yet, right? Peaked. No. I might have peaked, but not peaked, right? Anyway, it's all words today. I know. Today was not a very exciting day. It was like a nothing day. So
we're gonna turn it.
This is why we got to turn it up.
We are going to turn it into a something day.
Oh,
we are bringing to the stream a fabulous big girlfriend. Friend of mine. I've met this fabulous. Actually, we'll talk about how we met. And you remember that story? My favorite guest who's backstage. We're going to talk about that story when we first met. Yes.
I can't wait. I don't know. I don't remember how we met, but I remember the last time we saw each other, she yelled at me from a passing car on the street. That was the last time we've seen each other in person.
I tell you, this extraordinary woman and talent is this. She can sing anything. If it's jazz, if it's gospel, if it's R&B, if it's musical theater. She's appeared on stages around North America. She has appeared as the Killer Queen in And We Will Rock You. Has been a mainstay of the Soul Pepper Theater Company as of late for the last couple of years. And we are just so thrilled to have this stalwart human being and awesome talent with us tonight. Please welcome to the stream, the incomparable, the diva extraordinaire, Miss ALANA Bridgewater!
Yeah!
Who are you talking about?
You, lady, you!
I want to.
I was so excited. I was waiting to find out who it was.
Who's the best? Who's the guest?
You're so excited, and you just can't hide it.
Listen, at least we're not talking about pigeons anymore, right? Like, come on, Ryan, pull it together.
Do not piss off the pigeons.
Right.
They are in population. You piss off one of them with bleach, and they're coming back.
No, I'm not going to piss them off with bleach. I promise. I was like, you can't drive animals away with bleach. When I heard that, I was like, no, I don't think that's okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to try to drive them off with string. I mean,
we'll
see how that goes.
I was listening to that story thinking, you're going to get the opposite of what
literally, it's like that movie where all the birds hit the roof of the house all at once.
Notice I'm coming to clean your house. That's what I'm telling you. There's going to be the roaches are coming in and they're going to be like, this is like tripling in population.
Don't you jinx me. You cast your spells.
Oh, Miss ALANA Bridgewater, where are you in the world? Hello, welcome. You look beautiful. Let's do this up.
Glowing tonight.
A little bit of color,
gorgeous outfit.
I'm so happy because I don't have to wear like a wig or like hair extensions because I'm in my house. So I'm like,
you are
really nice.
I was like, I get to put on a bra, but guess what?
You didn't.
No,
I totally didn't. You're just like,
ladies, do you know what this is?
What's that?
Oh my!
Is it an auto titsling?
This is underwire. Yeah, and it popped right out. And guess what? I'm doing a show, and guess who calls?
Who?
My niece.
Oh, get her on.
I hung up on her.
Oh, okay.
She's
All
5.
right.
She won't
You're
know. So just
oh,
in case there was a
sweetie.
bad tenant.
Oh.
So the underwear, it popped out
It just popped out. I was like, I'm feeling really
of the bra.
uncomfortable in this
So
bra.
it's
And then-
actually resisting being worn. Actually,
well, you know what? This is the thing. I don't like wearing bras, but I didn't realize that this one was already undone. You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame you for not wearing bras or not
Yeah.
liking wearing
And girl
bras.
doesn't wear a bra either, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Just-
Live the lopsided life. Why not?
You know what?
Well,
No one is asymmetrical. Look at this. Look at this face. No one is asymmetrical.
No, it's true. Oh my goodness.
I like it.
Alana, where you guys are out of control. I love this. Where are you in the world? Where are you living right now? What's happening?
I
Where are
live
you?
in Scarborough.
Okay, you're in the Greater Toronto area, and who are you socially?
No, I'm not in the Greater Toronto area because Scarborough is actually Toronto.
You're right. You're right. That's since Mayor Mel, isn't it? Like, isn't that? Yeah, that's the amalgamation.
Oh,
story.
yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Yeah, but we don't
real
get
Toronto.
the same things that Toronto gets, like a subway
No,
or
Not yet.
or LRT or
In due course. In due course.
existence.
Come on, listen. Eglinton doesn't even have more than one lane working at a time, too. So clearly, there's no push on Scarborough getting their
Trying to get
subway.
to Scarborough. That's why they're pushing their way east on Eglinton.
I'm telling you.
Who are you social distancing with? Who are you in self-imposed
I am with
isolation with?
my beautiful mom, who's 86.
Oh, bless mommy.
Almost 87, and my daughter, who I moved out of residence and back home because man, is it expensive.
Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's you
Mhm.
know, we're all doing well. I do all the grocery shopping, making sure that my mom is protected, and we're doing what we need to do to just flatten the curve.
Yeah. What have you guys been doing? Like how?
I was just gonna say, what are you guys doing to keep yourselves occupied?
What's
Desperate
family?
Housewives.
Yes.
Doc Martin, which they're probably watching right now. They'll watch this after when we're done. But they're totally watching Doc Martin because that's
Is that the
show? It's really good. Yeah.
The show. Are you going through? Do you guys cycle through series on like stretches, or do you do like one episode of one episode of two, one episode of, and then you go back?
Well, it depends. Like for example, my daughter and I committed to Desperate Housewives, so we're like on season 7.
Where you started at season 1?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of desperation.
Pardon me?
I said, are your retinas still attached to your face?
I'm just like, I'm over the show. Like, I'm just over it.
Is your daughter still liking it though?
She's kind of over it too. Hey, Georgia.
Hey, there's Georgia.
Yay, Sophia. Hey,
but I've been watching My Brilliant Friend by myself. Like that was I
My
really
Brilliant
wanted to watch
Friend.
that.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, it's a beautiful series. And it's set in Napoli. So the language is Neapolitan. It's there's subtitles and just really great acting. And
is that on
Netflix? The superhero guy?
No, it's about female relationships.
Okay.
2 girls that were friends from the beginning, and there were a number of different families, and one being brilliant but had to make a choice to go one way, where the other works hard but goes the other way. And so it's almost like
what's the show broadcast on?
It's on Crave.
Okay, on Crave TV.
Yes, yeah. And I think there was like a free preview.
Yeah.
There usually is like a 30-day preview or something like that. Speaking of which, that website that I spoke about last week.
30 day.
Yeah, you get like a 30-day.
I heard 30 gay, but that's fine.
No, but it was going a little robot-y. Like the music was going a little robot-y.
Well, we were talking about going the other way, and I was like, wait, this could go anyway. I'm your Venus. I'm your fire with you. Sorry.
Anyway, that streaming site that I mentioned a couple weeks ago has totally vanished now. So clearly it wasn't a legal streaming site. So
they never go away. They just amalgamate.
Relocate
to
another nebula.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have to share, guys. I need your opinion on this. So
Sure.
I'm not someone.
I'm up for it.
Oh wait, Merle. I have a Desperate Housewife board game I want to play. Absolutely, Merle.
Absolutely.
We will zoom that in. So like, I'm someone who's connecting to the news, for like practicality purposes. I'm not I'm not glued to it ensconced, but
wait, I was glued to the Las Vegas mayor today. That's for sure.
that's what I want to talk about. So we all
I didn't
had.
mean to just step on your idea then,
No,
Christopher.
No. This is a conversation. This is exactly what I want to do. So did I read correctly that the mayor of Las Vegas has offered up the community of Las Vegas as like a test community of what COVID might look like if we don't observe social distancing?
I sort of, I guess so. The thing is, it can't happen.
No.
That's the thing. The governor isn't saying let's reopen, so it's almost just silly to listen to a 20-minute or have a 20-minute interview with someone who is saying one thing and then taking it back, and then saying one thing and then taking it back.
The driving force though is money. Las Vegas has all the casinos. They're like, let's fill these places up. We need the money. And so they understand, whatever they're trying to justify their ridiculous claims, it really comes down to money.
But what's interesting, and I agree, because so much of the people who live there, their income is based in working in service, working at those casinos, working at those hotels, working in those shows even. But in order for even if Las Vegas opened tomorrow and everybody went to work, no one's coming to Las Vegas. No. All the other states, or a good portion of them, are on lockdown, or a good number of people are on lockdown. Who's going to go? Like,
all the people that are trying to get the economy open are going to go.
The ones that are saying like my
$1,250 stimulus check, and they're going to go. And
they're my body, my choice signs, where it's now my body, my choice to wear a mask to work, and my body, my choice to go to work. Interesting.
We may all have to go to Saskatchewan in due course, because apparently we can go for a haircut in Saskatchewan next month. Hopefully.
Oh, I know.
Oh no! I'm actually digging this. I was a little skeptical I thought people were jumping on the cutting hair at home bandwagon a little early, but I'm for it right now. I'm like, let's see what we can do, friends.
What about black hair, though, Alana?
Black hair. See, that was not an essential service, and unfortunately for the Black community, it is. So when you're saying that it is not essential, and all those shops were closed up. So, I'm natural right now. I'm not doing a big stage show, so I don't have to have my braids or, big hair or whatever. And I love it. And it's great. Yeah. Just, for me, protective styles are helpful. Yeah. So that I can, protect the hair I got. So it's not, breaking.
The other headline that I was
this is exciting current events.
There was I think it was Kansas, if I'm remembering correctly. It was covered
a big tornado picked up a house, dropped it on a witch. I know. Worst story ever.
Again, the southern states. A judge has ruled against the governor's decision that by preventing people from gathering in large groups in a church context, they are actually going against religious freedoms and freedom of speech. So a judge has ruled in this community that people are allowed to congregate for church.
Yes. In the end, they do have the right to congregate for church. This is the story of having human... Yes, black hair matters. Black hair matters. I wish people were making different decisions based on their rights. I don't want people to gather.
If the idea is that God's got you and he's going to protect you and he's healing you, I think that sometimes people forget that healing comes in many ways. Healing could also mean relieving you of your life.
Well, what was that joke?
You will be healed because you will not be here.
Well, Chris, what joke were you going to say? Yeah, exactly, Alana.
Someone like the rain is coming, and someone comes and warns the guy and says, the rain is coming. He says, it's okay, God's going to save me. And the water's up to his chest, and a rowboat comes by, and he says, get in the rowboat. No, God's going to save me. The water's up to here, helicopter. same thing. God's gonna save me. He dies at the pearly gates.
God,
He's like, I give you a warning, a rowboat, and a helicopter.
I think it's also interesting to see for people with a very clear, specific view of this sort of life and then afterlife, is that dying of COVID may not be the worst thing, or dying at all, because they're living a timeline that extends beyond this experience here. So the weight of loss of life, or the weight, the gravity, I hate Evie's using that term, but the gravity or the gravitas of that effect, of that idea, may not be as deeply felt, since part of their experience here on Earth is to prepare for the next life anyway. So that might be part of why it's more about the ability to meet rather than fearing the COVID itself.
I really feel like it's the principle over the actual loss of life.
I agree. Yeah,
I really do not think that they're going to die.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that my mother's church is completely equipped to have service.
Online?
They have service online.
Good.
She does the stream on YouTube on Saturday, and then they have their prayer meetings. They do the Zoom rooms with the phone.
Yeah.
So I think, she's also fortunate that she has me to do it, because she doesn't even know how to change the remote, right? But
sure, right.
They're not a lot of people have that kind of access, unfortunately, and so then they're feeling like they're lost. And the one thing that they turn to is
their church community. You're absolutely right. So, we have to consider the privilege that goes along with being able to stay inside and have the access to the technology that makes that is connecting us similar to right now, versus communities and people who just don't have that.
But I don't condone gathering. I think that it's irresponsible of pastors to want their congregation to gather. But that's my own personal opinion.
And Gavin and I were having a conversation about, natural selection.
Well, I mean, a lot of the protest is their reasoning is about herd immunity, and that we are eventually going to have to catch it and create sort of a immunity or a build up against it, an antibody of sorts. And so I'm like, okay, if you want a guinea pig for that first chapter of that, then I can't
and it's like, even when you talk about natural selection, we don't have race-based information here in Canada. In the United States, we're seeing that it's ridiculous in terms of African American and Hispanic communities that are just dying. And of course, when you look at what kinds of jobs that they're doing, a lot of them are in the front lines. The socioeconomic situation is not necessarily the same. The money is not being filtered down. Here in Canada, you have the opportunity as a Canadian citizen and as a landed immigrant to receive the payout that the government is giving. In America, you cannot be a landed immigrant, even though you pay taxes. You have to be a Canadian, an American citizen. And so they're out there working.
Because they have to.
Otherwise they won't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate situation.
It is a system that, as a superpower, as a global superpower for decades, and a country that often, in some ways, received criticism, but looked at as sort of like, in some ways, a leader in a lot of ideas that happen in the world. There's going to be some massive shift. It looks like massive shifts happening in the way society works, and the way. Well, I can hear the bells, the pots and pans right now. There's going to be new traditions and new systems and new. One would hope a renaissance of sorts after such a global, global loss, a global tragedy.
Yeah, but being who I am, and as a person, I'm a Black woman. It's not an equalizer. This is not an equalizer.
No, I have to agree with you.
People keep saying, "Oh, well, we're all the same," and it's not. It's not showing as being the case.
No, that whole "we're all in the same boat" sort of thing. It's like, no, we're all the world is experiencing the same thing, but we are not in the same boat.
No.
And I think it's important to remain mindful that
Mhm.
while we're doing this amazing thing for actors, and being an actor is also a privilege.
Yes.
So there are other, charitable places that need our help and that need us to. And I'm just thinking of this right now. This wasn't any sort of plan to tout any other charitable organizations, but also remember, the AFC. I mean, it's for actors, and and artists, which are wonderful, and we need them, and everybody's struggling, but we have to also remember to keep our perspective and our priority where to keep our money going to.
Yeah, well, I do think the Actors Fund, it's such an important organization, and I know that there's going to be a lot of struggle in the next months. Things are changing rapidly, and
yes,
we're lucky that we had a situation where we didn't know that whether it was residuals or streaming, that streaming could pay you maybe $100, so you might get groceries, but then you wouldn't be eligible. And so they changed that. So I was happy about that. But
thank goodness.
It's still going to be a battle uphill.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a wild shift, and everyone finding new ways to make money or new ways to use what they do to create income. So speaking of what we do, and speaking of what you do, I know you heal. What do you do? You go on mute when we need you to make sounds. That's what we do.
Yes.
So I hear you make some of these sounds out of your mouth that heal people, and it's called music and singing. And I have never personally had
I went left there. Okay, go on.
I have never had a private concert by so many incredible artists, and so I am extra excited about getting one by you tonight, actually. So I'm wondering if you'll sing us a song.
Sure, I'd love to sing you a song.
What have you and Mr. Camilleri, Mr. Mark Camilleri?
Oh, has he
Mark
helped out with the tracks tonight?
Is literally a boss. So in 2006, I did a show. I was way too young for it. Called Menopause Out Loud.
That's right.
Mark was awesome. We had a great time. And so it was so interesting because we have this language where we can speak to each other in short form. So I'm like, yeah, so I'm doing this. So this, yeah, okay. Like that ending, cool. Yeah. And that was our conversation.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I'm out.
He's just so brilliant. One of the highlights whenever he plays for us at Christmas is watching him play the In the Mood of Wintertime or God Rest You Merry Gentlemen medley that he does. It's just a dream to listen to and watch him play. So I can't wait to hear what you guys collabed on.
Okay, well, this first song wasn't in a musical, but it was a song that was covered by so many people, from Frank Sinatra to Count Basie, Louis Armstrong. And it's one of those songs that just is inviting and fun. So I thought I'd do it for you.
No, I can't wait. Thank you, Alana. Have a beautiful sing.
Ah! All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbye left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, dear, without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me?
Yeah! That was such a great spirit lifting song. Thank you. What a God.
All that talk.
I was like, we're so deep. And then I was like, let's get into the jazz.
Alana, tell us about your musical journey. Where did you start? When did singing come into your life?
Oh, so I was I was one of those hyperactive children. So I used to
No.
cause a lot of trouble.
I don't know. We don't know anything about
I
being
don't know.
hyperactive
I was a
kids
little bit.
ourselves either. So
I was spirited. You know, my mom had me at a very an older age, let's just say. And you know, while I was rambunctious, she was going through menopause, so that was fun for her.
that
And
menopause out loud.
yes. And then you know, she basically put I lived in North York, and I would go to Earl Bales Community Center at Bathurst and Shepherd there, and do drama. And so then I started singing, and people were like, you're actually pretty good, you know. And I ended up doing the Canadian Children's Opera Chorus.
Oh, cool.
I just saw this ad that said, for people who love to sing, come on out and audition. And then I got in, and I was like, what is this, opera? Like, what am I doing? And I had John Tuttle was an amazing conductor and organist. And he would say, listen to the music. You may not like it at first, give it a chance. And I would just fall in love with music that way. And it was really a great starting point for me. And then I was in the Mendelssohn Youth Choir.
That's really simple advice, but really valuable advice.
It is, because, you know, the first thing you hear, and it's like different sounds, like accompaniment sounds, and you're like, what is happening? And then you start to really appreciate, you peel it away, and it becomes something so beautiful.
Thank you. I'd never thought of it quite that plainly put.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
You're singing.
So I'm singing, I'm doing Mendelssohn Youth Choir, and then I auditioned for the music theater program at the University of Windsor.
Right.
And, you know, it's funny because now that we're, you know, at home, I'm finally doing the piano lessons I should have been doing at 8:30 in the morning. You know?
Are you steady? Are you working on your piano chops right now?
I'm working on my piano chops, because I'm telling you right now, literally 8:30 in the morning after 90210 in Melrose Place, it just wasn't going to happen. You know,
that's so true. Yeah, no. I had ear training at 8 a.m. in Sheridan, and it was not happening either. We have a message we just saw go by from Gavin Hope.
Gavin Hope.
Yes.
After the wonderful Klingon incident with a young, impressionable half-breed nylon, it happened in the 90s. Were you working at...
Yeah, I worked at Canada's Wonderland. It was the first year that it became Paramount. So they had the Star Trek.
Were you too, Ryan?
I was there that year too, actually.
Yeah,
but we didn't know one another. I was in Character House.
Oh, you were in Character House.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I saw you. Were you working? Because it was Martin.
Well, I did win Best Escort that summer for what that counts. I mean, I think they use a different term nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sure, because, you know, that could have propelled you into another kind of
a whole other world of work. No, so you were at Paramount Canada's Wonderland.
Yes, and I played a Klingon.
And did you go through all the makeup every day then? And
you know, you had to put the pad underneath the forehead so that you didn't like wash your makeup away.
Right.
And I was Ensign Pateval.
Oh.
Yes, I was pretty, you know, I'm already 6 feet tall, so throw some
platform Klingon.
Yeah.
So
cool.
So what? Like you like met? Like, was he a fan of yours, or did you arrest him?
We had a bunch of skits that we had to do.
Oh, okay.
And so there was one skit where it was like, you know, you basically say that in order for you, like, you would have to get married, but they don't know that they're getting married.
Oh.
Or they're going through a process, and it's like, well, now we have to do the circumcision. And, you know, the idea of humans saying, oh, well, I'm circumcised. And it was like, not the way the Klingons.
Not the way Klingons do.
For real?
For real.
And I love the fact that these lines and this stuff was directed by Paramount, like it was written for you guys. So that's now in Star Trek canon. That sort of ritual in Klingonese lifestyle is. Oh yeah, it really happens.
Before they got to Canada, they already had language. People coming up to me and talking, and I, you know, just we'd have like so many different celebrities that would come around. And what's crazy workout guy. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Richard Simmons.
Yes. So he was there. Do you remember that? He came to do like a big show for people. Richard Simmons.
No, I don't remember.
And he caught me backstage and he was trying to talk to me and I wouldn't leave character. And he's like, "Oh, you're good. You're good."
And he was half your size.
You're gonna go far.
He was half your size too. Wow.
So this is like this is in the 1993, I think we were talking about. So what? That was
Summer '94. Summer '94 would have been. What happened? Like, oh, you work at Wonderland for one summer or a couple of summers, and that's a family of sorts. Definitely the Wonder family. Everybody's very tight. What did you do after that? Did you start auditioning? What opportunities? No, I went back to school because it was just after my first year.
Okay.
And then I think the next time that I saw him was an audition. They did the open call for Rent, and my daughter had just turned 1, and I got on the Via, stood in that line, sang one line, got a thank you, got back on the Via, and had my daughter's 1-year-old birthday party that evening. It was crazy.
And that was and then you ran into Gavin that day. Are you saying too?
Yeah, I remember seeing him there. But then when we actually met, and he doesn't remember, was when we were in Vancouver doing the auto show. And they had internet cafes back then. And he was on his way to some like fancy place. And he was just talking about how his muscles were glowing in the.
Well, Gavin just said this. Gavin and I have a commonality here.
No, wait. Can we?
Gavin and you have a commonality,
all relative to Alana. This was the story I wanted.
No, let me preface it with, I used to have to. I can't even talk about it because it's so bad.
Smokey Joe.
But I just had to make sure. Let's just say that I had to make sure I was very clean because somebody would use a digit before I'd go on stage to like.
Okay, so
in those days, it was not acceptable. It's not acceptable now, so do not do that, please.
Don't you guys? So guys, don't.
Alana,
yeah,
you and I met in 1998. We were both founding members.
Wait.
Get it out.
Okay,
get it out. Get it. Never.
You and I were
literally.
Both.
Put it in your mask and let it form over. You use it in a mask. That's where you need that underwire. It's an overwire now. Goodbye.
You and I.
You know what? Me too. I'm sorry. Just a sec. Lopsided.
This is crazy.
Doing it. Chris, how did you meet Alana? I'm just going to play this. Chris, tell me how you met Alana.
Yeah.
Alana and I were founding members of the Nathaniel Debt Chorale, which is an Afrocentric choir that we were both part of with people like Misha Brugger-Gossman in 1998.
Oh, amazing.
But Alana and I met on Church Street during Pride when I was wearing a kilt. Ceremonially and being me.
If it's ceremonial, just... I think this question will be answered as the story goes on.
And your friend did a high kick.
Meaning your friend. Yeah.
Are you calling him my friend? Like he's not your like as if by implication that I'm associated with this. I'm assuming no panties high kicker.
I decided to shake his hand.
Yes. So Gavin, mine was on Church Street. Just saying. So we became best friends. My mother is more.
I am going to count myself lucky.
What's happening right now?
I am going to count myself lucky in the fact that all you did was yell at me from a car on the street the last time I saw you, rather than use a digit of sorts. That's I'm going to stay away from that.
I love you're making like a rainbow there. It's like.
See, this is how many days in isolation, you guys? How many days?
Exactly.
40,
44, 45?
Kicking in.
Yeah.
I'm a really good person, I swear.
You are. I mean, so you got exposed to this wonderful classical music when you were in high school, mid-school to high school, and you went to musical theater school, and then you started working in the industry, and everything from like Killer Queen and We Will Rock You to like singing with the likes of, we were just talking about with Johnny Reed. You were on tour with him most recently.
Yeah.
I mean, and you've had
voiceover and video game work as well too.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about that and the fact that you have how many subscribers on YouTube? What?
I have over 11,000 subscribers.
Wonderful.
On my YouTube channel. But okay, it's
11,001 now.
Yeah, well,
like literally.
Cuphead is a game that was it's a video game that is actually Canadian made. And it's such a great video game. And I had the opportunity of playing the role of Mr. King Dice, and is based on Cab Calloway. So it's like,
you have a lower voice than I do. It's shocking, really.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been great. Like I love the people that I worked with, and it's just it's really been a beautiful gift.
It's a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
It really
1930s big band.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah, Christopher
really,
Matthews
really
is
fun.
amazing. He's brilliant. He's actually he's a drummer with the National Ballet.
Okay, cool.
So, and he did all of the music. So it's just fantastic.
Yeah, as soon as you shared about it, I downloaded it right away. I was totally, because I was just like, oh, I can use this kind of music in class too. Like, it's got a certain sort of energy and a certain sort of vibe. And
yeah.
So what, out of all the things that I know you said that great thing about listening to music before you decide on it and take the time to listen. Where do you vibrate most in your music? Like, is it a style of song? Is it a tempo of song? Is it a genre, an era?
No, and I think that's one of the things, is that it's not about genre. I think it's about the storytelling, and that doesn't necessarily mean that there's vocals. You can be transported on any kind of journey, whether it's an instrumental journey, because, you know, as they say, music really is a language. Being on stage with a band and the way that we speak to each other and know we're finishing each other's sentences, smiling at the same time or feeling the pain at the same, that's really what resonates with me. I love the live element, and it's hard because doing this, it's like, I miss that.
Yeah, of course.
I miss it. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna.
That's what
I'm gonna say. Don't miss it any longer. I'm not gonna make you wait any longer. Will you sing us another song, please?
Sure.
I would love that.
Okay. So let me do. Am I doing 3 or?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I chose this next song because I love it. I love that we are constantly moving, and going through something like this really makes us understand how life just changes, sometimes without even our control. You know, we move along in time, in energies, in sounds, in spirit, in broken hearts, and healing. And Bernard Inger, he wrote the song. It was on Quincy Jones' Body Heat, and I'm going to do it for you now.
Oh, I can't wait. Thank you, Alana.
If I can unlock my phone. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. For that's the way of time. No one goes unchanged. There are many things in life we can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart must heal, but never much too soon. No, everything must change. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. For that's the way of time. No one and nothing goes unchanged. There are not many things in this life we can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry.
Oh, Alana, that was lovely. Thank you.
That was just like a big velvet blanket.
Reassurance too.
Ryan and I literally both just went.
I closed my eyes for a bit, and wow. That first of all, what a beautiful song! Like what a song, and the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like that was why you felt like a velvet blanket, but of reassurance, and that.
I love the song so much. It's one of those songs where, for the purpose of this, I didn't have the instrumental, but usually there's a change in the instrumental. So it starts off slow and then it kind of goes into like,
oh, neat.
And that it's like, because life isn't stagnant, so there's and you get surprises along the way. And so I've always loved, musically it moves and lyrically it moves, and it's something that just touches me.
It's beautiful. You do it beautifully. It was like, it was literally like comfort. Thank you. Thank you.
It occurred to me that you said your mother's 87.
Yeah, in June.
Okay, and your daughter is how old again?
24.
Tanisha's 24. So you've got a 24-year-old and an 86-year-old mom. What have the dialogues been like around the dinner table, around those perspectives in your home? Where's your mom from originally?
I was really talking about that.
Yeah. Mom is from where?
My mom is originally from Jamaica.
Yeah.
And she's actually, Christopher knows my mom, and she's such a beautiful person, and she's actually really open. And
I love when I call her, she yells, Alana! Christopher on the phone.
Christopher on the phone. But my daughter she's not even a millennial. She's a Gen Z.
Yeah.
And so there are certain things that she will not put up with. Like the idea that oh, you need to, if you don't wash these dishes, a man will never marry you. She's like, well, then that's perfect. You know? You don't want to get married.
That's amazing, though. Those two polarities there.
It's like, if a man is going to marry me because I do dishes, then I don't want him. You know, like, so it is an interesting dynamic, and I love it. You know, and my mom practically raised her too, right? Because I worked on the cruise ships and I traveled a lot over the course of my life. And so their relationship is very close. Yeah. And I love that. Mm-hmm.
What is your mom's perspective of what's going on in the world right now?
You know, again, she is steeped in her religion and her beliefs. And so that is helpful. Mm-hmm. There are certain things that it's important for me to protect her. So
of course,
the news is only on once a day.
Right. Fair enough.
And that's because for me, it's like, you don't need to hear it over and over again. The CP24 and the click and the click and the click. We don't need that. We don't need that. Well, let's cook, let's bake. We've been doing a lot of cooking, baking, and you know, cleaning up. I've been doing taxes. Oh gosh. And, you know, just life.
You got an extension at least on that.
Yeah, but you know, it's also really important to just, I haven't been able to rest. Mm-hmm. Rest.
Alana, I relate actually until a week or so ago when I just went, it was only a week ago where I'd had my first actual day off to rest since before March, the first week of March.
Yeah. Right.
So I relate. How are you coping with pacing yourself then?
So a lot of people don't know this, but I was actually pretty ill prior to this happening. Mm-hmm. So I'm just getting better. And that's because I work as much as possible all the time. And so last year, not only did I tour with Johnny Reed, I toured with Corey Hart. And so that was 2 cross-Canada tours, pretty much back to back.
Wow.
You know, with you know, a concert in between. And
you wore your sunglasses all day and all night.
Yeah, and so
she never surrendered.
I never surrendered. I never did.
Not wasted on me, Ryan.
And it's I'm not. This is not a complaint. It's a blessing.
Oh no, yeah.
These things, for this to happen was amazing. But you know, you push yourself, and you're working hard, and you're up early, and the time zones are changing. And like with Corey Hart, it was flying constantly. With Johnny, we were on the bus. So you know, 2 different types of touring, but it does take a toll. And so I got back, and I was super sick. And but I still had commitments, and the type of person I am, I pushed through. I really should have been like, I need to cancel.
Okay.
But it's hard because what we do is so much a part of not just about money.
No,
it's about
it's tied into
about life. Yeah.
It's about, so sure. And I overdid it, and so I was out pretty much most of January and February. And so that was really tough. But
are you finding
not having the pressure of having to cancel gigs or turn away work has been so great for my mental health.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we celebrate the gifts in the strangely imposed new normal.
Yeah. I get it. Like, I'm not necessarily a silver lining type person because we can't ignore the devastation that this situation is having. But if we can see opportunity for understanding ourselves better and learning about boundaries and learning about our energies and what we can and can't do and what's healthy for ourselves, we can't not be grateful.
We can't negate positive in the midst
of. And sometimes people see what we're doing and they think, wow, you must have the most amazing life and you must have so many wonderful things and you must have lots of money. That is such a misconception. But here's the thing. The energy that we give out, people are receiving that, and we're also releasing it. And so, you know, it's the idea of when you finish a performance, how drained you feel.
Yeah.
And that's why it's always like, you know, wanting to debrief, eat, ground yourself, putting yourself back, you know, late at night. And that is something that is so real. And we are some of the most depressed people in a lot of ways because a lot of our energy is given out.
It's hard to get refilled.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I think that it's important for us to really reflect and take the time to breathe. But also we know that there are bills to be paid. And so there's a lot of worry in that. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
That's fair. Oh, darling. Well, listen.
Before we can go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say I'm inspired to just the fact that the way you sing, the way you speak, the way you share about your family, the way you share about your life, so genuinely honest and appreciative for just the experience, a good, bad, in between, and the other. You seem like someone who just is going to love your way through life, and
it's the only way to be. Like,
it's so inspiring.
You know, I love you all, and if I have anything I want to share, that's the way I am. And I feel like if more of us just allowed for us to just be happy and enjoy each other, and build each other up and hold each other up when we're falling, it would be a really beautiful, beautiful world.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Can we ask you to sing? Oh, do you want to say?
Yeah, just before you share it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're being joined by another lovely light. She was my Anne Shirley in Anne of Green Gables in Charlottetown. She does everything. The gorgeous, the talented Tracy Michaelides is joining us tomorrow to share stories and song. She's a special one. So tune in tomorrow at 7. If you're following us on the social media, grab us on the hashtag Big Girl and Friends.
Grab us on the hashtag.
Yes. And for all that are watching, please support, because it's such a great cause. And
thank you to all.
You are so wonderful for doing this, and thank you so much for having me. This song I'm going to send out to you. It's from St. Louis Woman. It's Johnny Mercer and Harold Arlen song from the musical St. Louis Woman. And it may not be pretty, but it's for you.
Thank you. It's going to be pretty.
Well,
pretty and gritty, maybe.
Here we go. I'm gonna love you like no one's loved you. Come rain or come shine. High as a mountain and deep as a river, come rain or come shine. I guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever beg me, 'cause I'm gonna be true if you let me. You're gonna love me like no one's loved me. Come rain or come shine. Happy together, unhappy together, and won't it be fine? Days may be cloudy or sunny. We're in or we're out of the money. I'm with you always. I'm with you, rain or shine. I'm with you always. I'm with you, rain or shine.
You are amazing. Thank you
so much, Ryan.
Alana, thank you for sharing your beautiful heart space and your beautiful gifts.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Thursday has been a better place because of this.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dull day, but man, you have put a shine on it for us tonight, Alana. Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Bless. Give our love to your mommy and your daughter.
Please do.
I will.
You stay put. We'll have a quick little sign off with you. Everyone else, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Friday to join us with Tracy Michaelides. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And
good night, everyone.
Anyone else going to give us love? Oh, never can go wrong with Harold Arlen or ALANA
Oh,
Bridgewater.
thank you.
Oh,
Tom.
he says the truth.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Let me
Night.
find this right now.
A time like none we've had in the past. Stuck in your home, how long will this last? You're feeling anxious, stress starts to grow. A different opening for a different show. Weeks ago you rehearsed and rehearsed. It's all shut down now, you couldn't feel worse. You ask yourself, will this ever be right? I know there's